That's the only reason why I got that
Hey, everybody. It's time for my 2 cents. I have to apologize as I was traveling for the last 2 hours. Oh my goodness. So we're a little late getting started, but I got my watch in.
Okay, cool.
I was able to pull up on my phone because I was like, we going on tonight. I don't care what happens. If I run in the door, just let me go to the bathroom. I'm good. I'm your girl, Pastor Steph.
Shantice.
I'm Ainsley Harris, that Brooklyn guy.
All right, Ainsley coming through nice and strong with his microphone. And we got our girl Anika hanging out in the wings. Hey, Anika.
Yep. Can't do it without her.
That's right, for holding us down. We got Terrence in the house. Hey, King Terrence.
Hey.
What's going
up?
on? Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We are continuing, and we got something brand new today. I'm rearing to go because I know we got started on 0 Day last week from Netflix. We got started with Mayor of Kingstown from last week, and we are doing a review on one battle after another with some of our, known actors. So let's get started there. But before we get started, Shantice, do you have any of those trivia moments for us tonight?
Yes, I do, Anika. You can cue it. Play it.
All right.
Being in the presence of a film with Denzel Washington, what was that like?
So Denzel, cool guy, very humble dude also as well. But the only thing with Denzel is you had to know when to approach him and when not to approach him. When he was in work mode, you of course got to respect that because it was crazy, man.
He's like a method actor, right?
He was, well, let me put it to you like this. He was in action before action. And you know what I mean? And the thing that made Training Day interesting too is that's the first movie ever that Denzel played a bad guy in. He added a Bible verse to that movie. By the wages of sin is death.
1982, I was filled with the Holy Spirit. I asked the pastor, Bishop Blake, you think I should be a pastor? He said, no, you have your pulpit. So I always looked for that angle. The only thing I wrote on the cover of Training Day was the wages of sin is death. I had the end of that film changed. In order for me to justify living in the worst way, I had to die in the worst way. He died in a very small way in the script, but I purposely wanted him to be knocked down on the ground and crawl like a snake. I purposely wanted everyone in the community to turn on him. I wanted him to die in the most violent way.
And the reason why he died so violently at the end when the Russian came with the machine gun and shot him up, because he wanted to show that if you live a life like that, you die a life like that. And he attached that scripture to his script. He wanted to show you may have the glory for a moment, but at the end, you're going to slip up and get caught up and you're going to end up going out.
When you saw Lonzo's performance, because he was Lonzo, bro. He was Lonzo. Did you think it was Oscar worthy?
It's Denzel. I felt like he should have won the Oscar before Training Day to keep it 100. I think Denzel 1,000,000,000%, just so we're clear here, not without a shadow of a doubt, should have got an Oscar. But I think that should have been maybe like his third or fourth.
Wow. There was some goodies up in there.
Yeah.
Up in there. Shantice, what do you no, not you. Let's give the first. Last week you did first. Let's give the first seat to Ainsley. What did you what was the goodie for you, Ainsley?
What we talking about? This clip we just seen here?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I like to hear stuff like that, behind the scenes stuff, that what happened. And I remember there was, I forgot who the actor was. It was in Training Day. And I think he played a cop. Anyway, he was like same thing. Where you had to approach Denzel because he's in like he went to say in between his takes, like, how you doing, blah blah blah. And Denzel, he was I can't say what he said, but he was like, nah, because he is rogue mode. And it was only said like I think only at the Oscars, and
Okay.
just to say, yo, listen, I couldn't get with you, be your friend, because you a cop and I'm rogue. So when he's in there, when he's I don't know what they call it, method acting. I think we talked about it before, when they're in character all the
Right.
time.
Yes.
It's like that. There's no on and off switch. They just on. And I remember hearing that about the same movie too.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
particularly when he did that scene, King Kong ain't got, on me. Yeah,
Right.
that whole thing. That's how he is. He's in deep like that. So that's not the first time I heard that about him.
Okay. Shantice, you always pick these out for us. What was your goodie in that one?
When he said he told the pastor he wanted to preach, pretty much, and the pastor said, "You already have your pulpit." I was like, "Oh!" And that brings me back to when, I fell in love with that part, and it brings me back to when we were watching the Martin reunion. And Tashina Arnold kept saying that was Tommy Ford's ministry. And I remember looking over at you and asking, like, but can they say that? Because this isn't anything godly based. How are you now saying this was his ministry? But now with hearing that and still understanding that you still have to have a balance and making sure you're doing exactly what God wants you to do. And this is one of those times where God will work unconventionally, because he's going to use you in certain fields to draw people to you. And then when he completely converts you, because look at the character he was playing. Right, he was cussing up a storm. He was like the supporting actor said, he played a bad guy. And if anyone saw Training Day, Denzel Washington's character was 100% ruthless. So there was a whole lot of cussing and just raw personality in it. So is that what God used? Where yes, God could have had him playing Moses, playing this, that, and the third. Absolutely. But did God say, you know what? I'm going to utilize that to draw people to you. So when I continue to pull you further out and further out, you'll have that impact to pull others, more and more people out with you, because they fell in love with you in Training Day. They fell in love with you with Mo Better Blues. They fell in love with you with Malcolm X. So now that he's only doing theater now. So it was just like, I loved that. It was just like, whoa. Well, it really has me analyzing what I'm doing. Like, God, let me make sure I'm doing what you got me doing, because you're right. You don't always have to be at a pulpit to be representing him. You say it all the time.
Absolutely. I always say God's people need to be everywhere. That's one of my taglines. God people need to be everywhere, because this is, this, like he said, this is your pulpit. Everybody can't be up in the pulpit. There no Indians and everybody's a chief. Everybody can't do the same thing. Everybody's got to be in this yard in everywhere. And what impact will you have when you have drawn all these people to you? I shift your lane, and now you're on my path. Now, how many of those people will actually follow you? So we are here to draw all men unto him. So this is I loved it. When I heard that, I don't know if you heard me say, I was like, whoa. I was happy, because it just helps to, it really just helps to highlight, some of the stuff that, and why we do this, you know what I'm saying? We're three Christian people doing on all kinds of movies. We don't only do on Christian movies, but you know what? God is using us to show that, people don't have to just be a one-note Charlie. A lot of people don't want to go to church and become a Christian, because now everything, if we left it up to the older people, we'd be standing over in the corner, not doing anything. So the best part about what God has us doing is we can actually do these things and keep it clean. And that's what I love. And I love that, because that's what we're doing. And
Yeah. And I think my biggest thing I had to realize, I worked for a long time for the state of New York law department. I'm saying, well, why I'm still here? I'm ready to go. Blah 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 blah. And partly is one thing we had to realize with everybody. You are, as a follower, you are probably the only opening, your lifestyle, that people see entrance to Christianity and following. People just your lifestyle, how you conduct yourself, how people not realize people are observing that, and so you are the Bible opening for most people every day.
Yeah,
which carries more weight than maybe somebody just hearing a message in church or in a service or something like that. And how many conversations that I've had with fellow colleagues, co-workers, and and somehow people say, I feel I can talk to you.
Right.
Half of my day I'm not doing really work.
Right.
Thank God I get through what I had to get through quickly, but so your lifestyle it shows and exudes, and the love God has, it exudes, and so that is so that's why our lifestyle is so important. How what we say, what we do. I think all people ain't paying attention, or everywhere you go, with everything you do, it makes a difference.
That's right. All right. So thanks, Shatis. I like that one. That was a goodie.
Yeah.
So we are reviewing. We're dabbling in the Oscars yard, and we are, touching on a few of the movies that they have nominated, or the people they have nominated that are our ethnic minorities. And we want to kind of follow them to see what they're doing and why they claim these people are nominated and so forth and so on. So One Battle After Another was not nominated itself, but Tiana Taylor was actually nominated for her role in this as, what's her name here? Perfidia. And the theme of the movie, the synopsis, is when their enemy resurfaces after 16 years, a group of ex-revolutionaries reunite to rescue the daughter of one of their own. So we've got, we talked about this last week. We have some familiar faces. We've got Leonardo DiCaprio and Tiana Taylor, who star in this movie, One Battle After Another, along with Sean Penn, Benicio del Toro, and Regina Hall with Harris. They make their their faces known, their presence known in this movie. Shana McHale makes her presence known in this movie, and I'm trying to find her name. Let's see, the one who played the daughter, she played Charlene Orwilla, and I'm not seeing her here. That's weird.
Right.
Here at all
either
on the list of cast and crew. Let me just go to the expanded version of the cast and crew, and let me see if I can find her here, because that is really weird. Okay, Willa is played by Chase Infinity. She is way at the bottom. She's kind of deep down in here, and we get an appearance, a small appearance by Mama, who plays Grandma Minnie, and that's by Starletta Dupois. We've seen her in other things as well. We got a check in from Talking with Majesty. Hey, Majesty, what's going on, my brother? He says, I'm going to watch it tonight. Yo, Majesty.
That's Caprice.
Tell a story.
That's Caprice.
That's Caprice. Girl, I was praying for you and thinking about you. Oh my goodness gracious. I'm thinking it's the other Majesty. What's going on? It's good to see you. Listen, we about to tell a story. So, because that's part of our review. We got to spill some tea on this movie. But this last week, the movie was Ainsley's choice. So Ainsley went first. So this week, Shantice, I'm going to get started with you. Let's do the highlights. Now, when we finish doing our highlights and cons, am I correct, Shantice, that you have some new kind of things that you want to introduce?
Yes, a couple of things that'll help us keep track of our scoring system. So Pastor Steph always introduces what are your highlights, what are I forgot how you term it, but the cons. Yes, the cons. I thought it would be great because
wait. Let's get there. Let's get there. So last week we started with you. You're welcome, Caprice. I'm glad to see you on because I was really like, my girl's been missing for a minute. I got to check her out. So prayers have been answered because you are hanging out with us tonight. So thank you so much. We're gonna start with. Wait, who are we starting? Who did I say we're gonna start with? I said we're gonna start with you, Shanti.
Yes.
All right. So highlights of this movie here.
The storyline was completely original. I never watched a movie that had this type of storyline. A bunch of vigilantes, a bunch of people who, for the common good, want to come together and make things right, but they still get to kind of be criminals at the same time. But because they still want to fix some things, that's where they're justifying, their actions. I liked not only the interracial, because it did kind of catch me off guard when I realized, like, oh wait, they together. So not just the but I would say kind of like the interpersonality, if you could say that, because even though Tiana Taylor and Leonardo DiCaprio were both like, these rebels, she was way out there, where he was a little more contained. Like she was out there. He was a little more contained, but they were both doing what they were doing. I really liked that dynamic. It didn't seem too far off to me. They worked together really well. The cast, I loved. I was so happy when I forgot that Regina Hall and my man Wood Harris was in it. When the camera landed on him, I was like, oh, I forgot he's in this. Yes. I was so happy to see him. So I love me some Wood Harris. I love Wood Harris. Definitely happy to see him and Regina Hall in this. And even though they weren't starring, like they didn't have the lead, they were more of supporting actor and supporting actress. They really, really, really did a dynamic job. I love the whole Leonardo DiCaprio. Another highlight for me is he showed it in Wolf of Wall Street. He has the ability to be that comedic actor without trying to be a comedic actor. There were certain scenes in this where he was doing certain things and I was dying. The main one that comes to mind was when he got to the sensei's, to the karate school to try to get help. And he went to the back to get a weapon. And he came back and heard all the cop cars and saw the sirens. And the way he dropped to the floor and was doing like the command, and it gave Wolf of Wall Street vibes. And I was just like, yeah, he got it. He has that, where if he tries to do it, I don't think it's going to work. Just him acting whatever role, and you could tell that, I don't think that was written. I think that was more of like an improv type thing, the way he did that. So that was definitely a highlight. The cast and how you can tell they were able to kind of, I'm going to still follow the script, but insert my own improv as well. Really, really well done. So it was just a few of my highlights.
Okay. Caprice says, thank you for those prayers. She says, I can't get it with my program. Yes, it's on HBO Max right now. You might be able to catch it on another. I think Apple TV is actually playing it. A couple of other streaming platforms, but HBO Max is how we watched it, Shantice and I. And she said she has to wait. Good. Then you'll forget all the stuff we talked about today. But listening, girl. Hey, highlights. What you got? Help Caprice with the highlights.
Oh, me? I'm sorry.
Ainsley. That's okay. Ainsley. That Brooklyn guy.
Oh yeah.
For us.
Yeah. Man, what a movie. You know. I had no idea what it was going to be about. You know, I know of Tiana Taylor. I didn't, mainly because of who she used to be married to, but I wasn't aware of her own accomplishment. This was my first time really seeing her on the screen acting and all and whatnot. But the storyline is very interesting, and it really is compelling. It's kind of thriller action. There really isn't too much of a dead spots, if you will. I really like you're right. Some things, it's not meant to be funny, but you kind of see there's some humor with Leonardo DiCaprio. There's a lot of scenes, a lot of highlights, things I like. I really like the character of what's his name? He was the sensei.
Benicio del Toro.
Yeah. Like no matter what was going on, he was like, "Oh, be cool, breathe." You want to be like, "We gotta go." No, breathe. It's cool, and the connections he had, even helping, the hospital scene to get out the hospital. His pull and connection. I was really Sean Penn. I think he did a really good job in it. I was good to see you say to see Regina Hall and Woody Harris in it. I was like, even though it was like a little bit, I was like, it was like just that little bit. It was like, oh yeah, all right. That's all. I don't need a whole lot. It gave me enough. I'm like, okay, I'm good. Thank you very much. It was good diversity in it. And I think as a whole ensemble, they really pulled it together. I think Tiana Taylor, I think she did a good job. I think she did a good job. But I like the movie. I like how it ended. And yeah.
Okay. My highlights. Let me see. Well, first of all, I do like the casting. I will say that much. I may not have characters, but I did like the casting. I think the casting was well done. I was shocked, when I saw Regina Hall and what's his name, Wood Harris on the list of actors. Okay, stupid me just automatically just thought they were gonna be together. So when I saw him reaching over kissing the other woman, I was like, oh no! I was disappointed.
Yeah, there was a whole lot of interracial stuff going on.
Oh yeah, a whole lot of jungle people up in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let me go back a little bit, because what I did was, when Caprice was talking about where she could find it, I actually did a little research. I have an app on my phone that helps us to locate where all the movies are streaming, and it's streaming on HBO Max. It's streaming on DirecTV. And those are with your paid subscriptions. You don't have to pay additional money. Now it's playing on Plex for $5.99, Row 8 for $6.74. Why 74 cents? Prime for $6.99, Fandango at home for $6.99, and Apple TV for $6.99. So if you're not willing to invest the $7, then you're gonna have to wait until it kind of jumps on another, one of the other platforms pick it up. And more than likely after the Oscars, it'll be in other places. Last year, we couldn't watch several of the movies because as many subscriptions that I have, it wasn't streaming on anything, which I think is the stupidest thing that even ever existed. Because if you want people to watch what you've nominated, put it out on something. Why do I have to pay twice? That's just dumb. So yeah. Listen, I'm with you, Caprice. I paid. So that's why last year we weren't much help for the Oscars, because we lost a lot of ability to watch a lot of the ethnic minority movies that were nominated, because we, with all my paid subscriptions, they weren't streaming anywhere. So we didn't watch it until afterwards, and we didn't miss nothing, no way. But we did. I was Nickel Boys was trash to me. I did not like it. I was like, we had to wait for this. So yeah, Caprice, I'm with you. I'm not paying anything extra than what I'm already paying. Why am I paying twice? This is just stupid. So we have my highlights. Like I said, I did like the casting. They nominated Teyana Taylor for Best Supporting Actress. I guess I'm okay with that. I'm not, against it. I'm not like, I'm not there either. But I'm trying to think of some other highlights there. I honestly didn't have a whole lot of highlights. I drifted off a couple of times during the movie, but I don't think there are many highlights. All right, Shantice, you got cons.
I didn't like how they didn't bring the Teyana Taylor back. I didn't like that. I thought that was whack. I kept hoping, like, okay, this is when she's gonna come back. Okay, this is when she's gonna come back. This is when she's gonna come back. I was a little disappointed with that. I think that would have definitely aided in the hype of the storyline, especially with the daughter now finding out exactly how her mother was, the type of person she was. I think that would have been really, especially after reading the letter, I think that would have been really, really, really dope. Another con. Oh my goodness, they had Sean Penn looking hard. And even before, and this was before he got shot in the head and the car flipped.
Right.
And then he recovered with the cleft lip, and not making fun of anyone who has it. Not making fun of anyone who has that.
But that's just what he had.
He didn't look too much. He didn't look too much off from how he looked prior to the car accident and getting shot in the head. I was like, I just had to look up, and I was like, Sean Penn was in this where? When I just pulled it up just now, I was like, what? That was him?
You didn't realize that was him yesterday?
A whole 2.5 hours. I did not know. That was not a toupee. That was a clip-on weave piece he had. There's such a thing as clip-ins. When you don't want to spend time or money to get your track sewn in, you buy the clip-ins. I used to wear it all the time. That's exactly what he had right there. With the low clip-in bang, bam. It was too short. I hate short bangs that don't cover your eyebrow. I can't stand it. It was hard. It didn't even cover his whole forehead. It was horrible. And then he called himself fixing it in the elevator.
Several times.
Yes. Sir, just unclip it. Take it off, please. Who are you meeting with?
Yeah, he took the comb and licked the comb.
Yes, lick the comb and then lick his fingers. And then, I'm like, no matter how many times you try to spray this, bro, it's not hitting. Like, no. That was definitely a con for me. Any other cons? I don't have any that I can think of any other cons. I like the flow of the storyline. No, I think that was the main thing for me. He looked rough.
Yeah.
That was rough.
Okay, Ainsley, cons.
I agree with Shantice. First of all, I was hoping that they were going to at least bring her back at the end. I think a little something, particularly after the letter, or maybe you see another 5 years later, because you see the daughter, she got the same kind of the fire in her.
Right.
Maybe leave something more. Even if you don't really see like the meeting up. Leave more to the imagination that they do. They meet up and stuff like that. And because really, then all of Taylor is really more so at the beginning of the movie. So I'm not going to knock her nomination. To me, I think I would like to see a little something a little bit more of than it was in the first 20 minutes of the movie, 30 minutes of the movie, and stuff like that. So I'd rather and then Sean Penn, when they show him like he's surviving out the crash, I'm like,
you know what, yo, what was that?
And I thought maybe, yeah, with the gun all burnt up and stuff. Now I thought maybe, Leonardo DiCaprio, his character maybe helped him out, but I'm like, yo, why they could have just killed them right there.
Yeah.
They could have just killed them right there. I mean, all that extra. He makes it, and then all of a sudden he's trying to get back with the with that white group that eventually
right.
Yeah, that he was going to die, but I mean, like that just like making space. I could have did without that part. I mean, I didn't have to see that.
Wait, without which part? The part the gas part.
No, I think he should have died right at the crash.
Yeah.
Right. Instead of the whole taking them back. That's when I thought she was gonna come back too. When he was chilling in the office and they showed the shot of him looking at the ceiling, I thought she was about to bust through the vent or something.
No, I wasn't thinking that.
I was
thinking that because you seen that long walk when they called that guy in. He came into the house. And he went downstairs and he was walking through this whole maze. And so like, what kind of place is this? Underground city. So I wasn't expecting that. But I think, to see him go through all this and, oh yeah, we're going to accept you then. They say, yeah, here's your office. We could have did, to me, that was not necessary. I would have been just as happy he died at the crime scene,
Right.
Those are the main things, it wasn't so much a con, but after when you realize your daughter is, kidnapped and you still puffing on some stuff, man, don't you think you want to get your head clear?
And still drinking beer with Sensei while driving.
I mean, like, you really bad, man.
He couldn't even run up the hill because he couldn't even jump from one part of the route to the next. He done fell in between, got caught in the tree. All this all because you keep drinking and smoking, sir. Like, at what point are you going to say, this is serious? Let me just get sober. No, you just keep intoxicating yourself. Okay,
I mean, he tried to get that all of it. I guess they call it a roach out of that little tiny. Like, bro, when you gonna give it up? It just goes to how bad,
Oh my goodness.
That's it though. But I could have did without that last part. I thought they could show reuniting of mother and daughter at least a little bit more than that.
Okay. Well, I have to agree with you. Those are all my cons. I think the story was stretched. Me and Teresa was like, no, 2 hours and 40 minutes for what? And you didn't even bring her back. So you gave her time with no. Shut up, Ainsley. When we had to spend time watching them on the road going up the hill and down the hill. When they were chasing one another I
felt like I was watching the streets the Bronx streets. That's how the Bronx streets look. Ain't nothing but hills.
The hills, yeah.
Why are we watching this? Why do we need to see the white car in the front, the second car, then the third car, and then she going up the hill, and then you going down, and then they're gonna show her car turning, and I'm like, why? I could not believe the amount of time that was spent on all this extra stuff, and Tiana Taylor never came back. Y'all could have brought her back 9 times if you matched up with all the wasted time. So the time you talked about, Ainsley, is wasted. The time with the car was wasted. No, how about when these are all my cons. How about when excuse me, when he took her to the daughter, to the people, left her there, went back to the car, got a change of mind and heart, came back, took the keys, started shooting people, and then when she got out of the cuff, when she went back, he was dead. When did he die? We didn't see any of that. I was like, no. Me and Teresa was like, no, this ain't.
Yeah, I thought, okay, maybe it was that moment I went like this.
Well, Teresa didn't do that. We were standing at the TV.
I was about to say, I was the whole time too. Mm-hmm.
We were like, wait, what happened? No, because we didn't have no chips. We was turning. And we were like, oh, we could not believe the editing was horrible. They took that whole movie. Teresa, you didn't miss the whole conversation, girl.
Right? And he's talking about, oh yeah, because I can't wait to get my 2 cents on the show. Girl, we about to sign off.
And we didn't watch this whole movie. So at the end, we figured out that whoever wrote the movie, there was no editing. They took all the movie and they threw everything inside of the script. They did not take anything out. There was nothing removed. I was so upset to find that we had gone through all of that extra for Tiana Taylor not to come back, and she got a nomination. So I'm saying to myself, well, then you nominated her based on what? It's a 2-hour movie. She was in it for what, all of 35 minutes. So it's like,
yeah, you know what? Now, it's another thing. We speak about that road scene. I didn't mind it too much, because the only thing about it was that.
Wait, what?
Right.
Wait.
He said he didn't mind the road scene. It wasn't that thing,
Wait, hold up. Here's the
that was like a Quentin Tarantino movie.
It's about it though. All right, so you got somebody. He's riding in like a black Tahoe, right? Nice vehicle. Boom, he rolling. The guy who shot him riding in a Mustang, GTO, muscle car. Boom, he going. The daughter is riding in a Chrysler 300. She rolling. Boom. But he got this beat up old.
He got a 98 Chevy.
Beat up old Toyota. Like that car can really keep up with all that muscle. After all them hills and stuff like that.
Yes.
That part I was like, yeah, you're stretching it a little bit right there.
Yeah.
They had the nerve. This is what they got. They had the nerve where you could see all 3 cars at the same time.
Yes.
And in reality, I'm like, come on now. You're not going to.
Yes.
You're not going to see that.
Yes.
That's
what I was saying.
Here's why I'm watching out.
Does this fall into the category of Shanti's? We can move now. We can move to the category that you talked about.
Oh, one more thing. One more.
Not yet. Because it's wait to find out if it goes into this category.
Okay.
What was I about to say? Distractions? Oh, okay. Distractions.
What you are about to say?
I was about to add. I got a con based off what y'all was saying because I thought the same thing too. The main reason why watching all these hills and driving was pointless because he drove right past the daughter. Everybody doing all this driving. Here you got the detective that's supposed to let you know you close to her, and you just drove right past her to the hard-looking man who didn't even have her anymore. I was like, okay, so this is extra pointless. So that was actually a con that I remembered based on y'all talking about how pointless that whole scene was. So yes, I'm sorry. Well, yes, the distraction. What was distracting?
So Ainsley, what you were gonna say, was that falling into a con or distraction mode?
No, something actually really good.
Oh, you're going back to
something I kind of pay attention to was like the underlying music to kind of add that suspension, that thrill behind it. I thought it was really, really, really done really well. It's one of the things people don't really think about. Yeah, you know, this guy. So I got whoever did that. I got to give him kudos for that. So that's it.
Okay. All right. So that's an extra. That's the music. That's the music part of it. And the Oscars, they do recognize music in the movies. So, you know, we can definitely include that if you want to in our nominations. Provided I'm down for that. Distractions, Shantice. Did you have distraction? Wait, let me read some of these comments. Teresa, you ain't gotta apologize to us, girl. I knew you was just waiting to talk about it. What's Majesty said, I'm watching the trailers. Okay. And Teresa said, no editing, no character building. There was no reason for it. Just ridiculous. There were some pieces that were just so just ridiculous. It was something that I thought about before we move on to the distraction that I thought about. Oh, I said to Teresa, I'm turning off this whole TV. The part that I could not believe when Leonardo DiCaprio showed up when she was yelling the code words. She yelling, chick, chick, boom, boom, bang, bang. And he's saying, it's me. Chick, chick, boom, boom, bang, bang. I'm like, okay, is this idiot so out of it that she's not even catching this is her father's voice? He had to really, I'm your dad. It's me.
Yeah.
I'm like, if she shoots him, I'm turning off the whole TV.
But she could see him at that point. But
that's what I agree. Saying. That's what we were saying. She's looking right at him. Not only that, you hear his voice. You know his voice. You only been separated from him for 5 minutes. This wasn't half the movie. It was only 5 minutes. You mean to tell me he had to go through all of that before you realized that was your father? You are not that traumatized. I said to Teresa, she ain't all that traumatized. Anyway, where he should have to go through all of that before.
That's true too. Yeah. Sure. I fucked too. I was like, oh, come on, man.
Yeah, I was so annoyed at that point. I was like, stop it.
If she shoots her father, yo, she crazy.
I was turned off the whole TV. Crazy or not, I wasn't gonna be a part of anything after that part. I couldn't even be one. I was turning off that TV. I didn't care if Teresa was sitting there watching it, and she was gonna have to go up to her room and watch that TV. I'm not watching nothing after this. I was so mad.
Yeah,
so I was
I mean,
like,
you
okay,
want to like, oh, get out.
Yeah. I was like, nah, we ain't gonna do this. Check. No.
Excuse me. It was Green Acres. Green Acres. I forgot the other two. Okay, I remember that Green Acres one.
Remember it either.
Green Acres. Right. Such and such. And such and such. And I was like, who made these names? These code names.
Yeah.
But even if they did, I don't care what the code words were.
Well,
but
you
you
right
knew
there,
that
your father right there.
Right. Even if he didn't ever say anything, because you were supposed to have those magic words behind chick, chick, boom, boom, bang, bang. So even if he didn't have those words, this is your father. They just took you from him.
All right, you know what?
Taken from him when you were 2.
You know what? This is where that was the white version. The black people.
Right, because the black father would have been like, "Girl, if you shoot me,
I'm like, yo, you want your damn mind?"
Right, the black father like, hello. They would have been so busy arguing. The other guy would have been able to walk up on them and shoot them both in the head because they would have been they would have been cussing each other out and fighting. Yes.
Cut it out. It would have been no chick. Yo, wait, it's me. I sat there. I looked at that TV. I said, if this girl shoot that man, I'm not breaking my TV. I'm just shutting off the whole thing. We're not gonna watch no more of this movie, Teresa. We could not believe that this was actually going. So Ainsley, I'm with you. That's on the other side of the fence. They ain't got nothing to do with us.
I'm about to say that was the other side of the fence parent though. Had it been, what was her name?
Taylor.
Perfidia. Yeah. Had that been Perfidia would have probably threw one of them rocks at her, like, girl. And probably would have aimed in her forehead.
We got to check in from Pastor KL. Hey, Pastor KL.
What up, bro? What do you do?
Caprice says it's Black History Month. They're making up for last year because no Black people were nominated. Remember? Yes. We talked about that last year, that there were no Black nominees. And this year they are running, like I read last week, the couple of nominations that we got, and that's why I wanted to make sure we viewed it to see why were you nominating all of these people or movies or whatever. All of a sudden now Sinners got everything this year.
Oh my God!
We stop.
You stop. This was the first vampire movie ever made. Like,
we're not falling for the okie doke. Cut it out. But distractions. Shantice.
One of the main ones that come to mind, I can't really think of. My distraction was the non-binary friend who gave up the phone number as soon as they got handcuffed. He got handcuffed.
Yes.
Everything. That scene was funny though, when the friends came to pick her up. And remember when Regina Hall went to go get Willa from the school dance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and they started interrogating the kids who said that they knew her. So they were asking the friends, like, well, do you have her number?
Yeah.
And he said, okay, well, I'm going to arrest you. And as soon as they put him in the handcuffs, he was like, I have the number. I have the number. It's under Hello Kitty.
Another kid you want to slap up.
It was distracting when it was introduced verbally when they were at the house. And he said, and Leonardo DiCaprio, that scene was funny though. He said, who's just pulling up in a red car like this? Now that's this side of the fence reaction. Who you got coming to my door? First of all, I don't want nobody knocking. I don't want nobody knocking unannounced. And then they pulling up in a car, not only a car, but that type of car. When you drive that type of car, only one or two things gonna happen with that type of car. And then he said something, and she said, no, it's non-binary. And I was like, why? Why does that have to be introduced? Does that add to the plight?
Right. No, but does that answer the question?
What does it matter? And then when I saw the non-binary friend, I was like, oh my gosh. And then this is the driver. So how is anybody supposed to focus in this car with this being the driver? How are the parents supposed to feel safe and comfortable with this being the driver? Why do we have to see this? What does it add to the plight, to the plot, to the setting? Why?
We know why. Why?
Why? Like, even though it didn't have me, but it's just like, even for 2 seconds, I shouldn't be distracted for 2 seconds because of it. It's like, stop inserting this. It was so irrelevant. You could have had the thick white girl say, okay, I got her number. It's under Hello Kitty. You ain't have to get this one and say that.
Yeah, you know why. I'm just glad that that's all I had to deal with, that issue, just in that little part of the movie. It wasn't throughout.
Oh my goodness. Okay. We got Teresa who says, I was mad that they made a revolutionary that was so sexually charged, Black and female. Hated her character. Majesty says, I will say Sinners was crazy. It was like a Broadway play, musical, and an epic movie altogether. And she says, I'm so sick of it. And she's referring to the infusion, Shantice, of that issue all the time. Ainsley, any distractions?
I think that's about it. What that I can think of, what we already discussed.
Okay.
I think that's pretty much it, though. Yeah.
Okay. For me, it was when Sean Penn came back and he was actually being interviewed or shown around. You would actually go to push being in this group of people that you knew were trying to kill you. They just tried to kill you. You know this. Okay, so that was my thing. But the distraction part was his condition. I'm like, no. His face ain't looking like this, and he walking around like this.
You know what? The one thing crossed my mind though with that scene though. I thought, okay, being that he knew they tried to kill him, I thought maybe he would try to kill them once he got in that room. You know what I'm saying? You try to kill me. All right, this is a time I can maybe take some of y'all out too.
Maybe.
I thought that was going to happen, but I was like, no, it's not going that way. Yeah.
No, not when he looked up and all the nitrogen was going through the vein. No, that's when we found out that he ain't gonna be. But I know they were gonna do something to him when they took him to that empty room. I was like, he's dead.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's going to be. Teresa says her distractions, all these stars. Why? You had Wood Harris as a 2-minute cameo or waste. Okay, so let me help you out with that one. Because I would think the same way unless I knew this. You have to remember something. They even small parts, our heavy hitters will take. And you tend to think that same thing, because I sometimes I think the same. I'm like, okay, so they could have introduced somebody new more than getting a Wood Harris, someone who has been a star, to actually play in that little bitty role. But sometimes they will do that to stay present, to keep their presence going. It's better to stay present for 5 minutes than to be non-existent for a whole 2 hour and 45-minute show. That sometimes they'll do stuff like that. They'll take these little itty bitty roles because now I get to see them, and I get to see them in a different role. And one of the things that we can say about Wood Harris is he's kind of stretched himself. He has not been typecast, and which is I'm very happy about. He has definitely played
for his versatility.
Yeah, and this is one of the things that no big actor is too big to do something really small, a little cameo. So we may see it's a waste, and we may honestly think it's a waste, but for them, they're like, you know what, I'm gone. And then you remember that Wood Harris was in it. Not only that, it extends your resume. Now you've got more credits on your resume, and you're seeing there. So when you're looking, when a casting agent is looking faces and people and personalities, they're reviewing all of this, and they're saying, well, you know what? I'm looking at Wood Harris's resume, and he's got quite a bit here of variety. If you only appear in large roles, then they really don't have as much to see of you, because here's the goal. The goal is to be casted. The goal is not to have to audition for everything. So your resume is actually a lot of your audition, because if a person can look at your resume and they see that you've played a villain, you've played a crackhead, you've played a drug dealer, you've played, somebody mama for 5 minutes, you played the man next door, and do that with that hot 5 lines, now they can see that's who I want. That's who I want. And Wood Harris has that type of resume. Wood Harris can be cast in quite a bit now that he's shown up and popped up in a lot of places that you wouldn't think he would be in. So that's one of the reasons why, we think it's a waste, but I got to tell you, there's some strategy behind that. So I would have liked to see him more too, honestly.
Yeah, and, it's good to see a familiar face. Always a familiar face when you're watching it. And for them, it's like, okay, they getting paid, and they have to work as hard as with a major role. And adds that diversity with them. And one of those things, again, you do the movie, you meet people, and people like you. You never know. Sometimes later on, people say, "Yo, I think this person be good for this.
Yep.
Right.
That, you know, I've seen that. That's the one right there.
Right.
You know.
Right.
That's so it happens a lot.
Yes. You want to keep that presence out there. Like I said, so casting agents are actually on set a lot of times because they are casting for another movie, another show.
Right.
So again, the audition process is time consuming. Time is money. If I can go and I can spot you and go, okay, I'm looking at a script. I'm looking at the players in this movie, and I'm looking at the versatility of who I'm watching in this movie. I've already got half the movie cast.
Yeah.
There's something else that comes up, and that is you want to cast to build your people. So Tiana Taylor, they're moving her. They're trying to put her in as many places as possible. She needs the support of a Regina Hall. She needs the support of a Woody Harris. She needs the support of a Leonardo DiCaprio, because that's going to help to boost her. So you put her in this particular, if you want to cast Tiana Taylor, because Tiana Taylor is the eye. She's the eye candy now. So now you want to support her with as many people that's going to bolster her. And iron sharpens iron. She's going to be pulled up because she's going to have to stand up, because see, she's going to look like, I'm on set with Regina Hall. I'm on set with where I got to step up my game. I can't be, you know, at no level 2 with the heavy hitters. All of these people, you talk about Benicio Del Toro, you're talking about Sean Penn, you're talking about Regina Hall, you're talking about Wood Harris, you're talking about Leonardo DiCaprio. Right. She is with A-listers. So now there's like, okay, we know how to cast this because we need to push her.
Right.
So this is the kind of stuff that they'll do to kind of push others. So that's something that a casting agent will do. So that's, like I said, sometimes we're like, all of that for what? You know, but there's a lot of strategy that goes into that. All righty. Okay, here we go. Nominations. Would you support, Anika, please, right? Would you support Tiana Taylor's nomination for supporting actor, where the Oscars have given her that nod, Shantice?
Considering she already won that for Golden Globes, supporting actress. No, I think I would nominate the daughter. I would give the daughter
for supporting actress.
That nominee for supporting actress. Yeah.
Okay.
For someone who I've never seen her on screen before, I think she did a really good job.
Okay. What about you, Ains?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, I mean, her part was significant in the movie, but to me, it wasn't lengthy enough it's like, for the nod, I think, thank you for the nod. It tends to me a little bit like, okay, all right, we let a black person get a little nomination.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so we're thankful for the attention, if you will. But I mean, I would tend to give more to the daughter, and I wonder how old she is too. I'm
gonna tell you right now. Go ahead and talk. I got you.
Yeah, I think I would give it to her. Yeah. So she's the only one in the movie that got a nod for.
Yes, she's the only one.
Okay.
She's the only ethnic minority that got a nod. And she, Willa, is Chase Infinity Anika, and she was born on May 5th, 2000 in Indianapolis, Indiana.
She's like 25, 26. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. So this seems to be more almost like, I hate to say it, you know, hope it's not, but more of a token kind of.
Right. I agree.
Thing. And I'm glad she got it. But I don't think she's gonna get it, because I think, without even looking at anything else, I would think I would need something a little bit more meaty throughout the movie. You know, or she just played this overly sexualized revolutionary, and I give her that. But I would like to see a little more depth to the character, and you can't give me that in 20 minutes, 30 minutes like that.
Right.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree with both of you. I felt that it was a token move because last year they did not do anything. And they had a couple of nominations, a couple of nods. And again, they're trying to show that we can see you. But look at all that we have reviewed, even in the last 2 weeks, that came from 2025, where you had other people who you could have nominated, for this supporting actress. So I honestly believe that if I was going supporting actress, I would go with Chase Infinity as well. I agree with both of you. It just wasn't meaty enough. 2 hours and 40 minutes. Y'all could have done so much with that. Even with you two mentioning that she could have come back in the movie. I agree. I definitely agree. You kind of, that to me was a waste. Okay, so I'll ask for leading. Do you have anybody in that minority area who you could send out there for a nomination? And the only one who would really be eligible for our minority cast, ethnic minority, is that Benicio del Toro. He's the only one. Would you give him that nod, Shantice?
Yes, that was Sensei, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
For lead though,
I think that's more supporting.
I'm asking. I'm not saying that your answer would be no. The answer would be no.
No, right. Okay. Right.
So follow what I'm doing. So I'm asking because we would only have one nominee if we were following our formula here, our script. So if you had to choose a supporting actor, because you answered already, Ainsley, as well. Would that be where would you go for supporting actor?
It'll be him.
Okay.
Del Toro. Yeah.
All right. Shantice, would you
second? I agree. Yes.
Okay. So we got Benicio del Toro as Sensei, and he would be for supporting actor. Unfortunately, Leonardo, Sean Penn, they did an excellent job. They really did.
Yes.
I feel they did an excellent job. All right.
Yeah.
Any other nominations on the board?
Let me see. Like I mentioned,
it was written and directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, who is not within the parameters of our nominees. And
what about the casting director?
I'm looking now for the cast. I'm looking at the cast here and to see if they were actually nominated for, they're saying 13 Oscars. Best casting, let's see. There's a Cassandra. I can't even pronounce her name. There's no picture with her, but she does not seem like she's in that ethnic minority. We have score. No. We have best sound. We have a Jose Antonio Garcia, who's actually falling in that category. We really don't have. You actually have the supporting actor. Wait a minute, I didn't see this before. We actually have best supporting actor. They have nominated Benicio del Toro.
Oh, okay.
Oh, right.
Yes, they did. They actually did. So he falls within the parameters for us as well. And everybody else seems to be on the other side of the fence. So that would close us down for our nominee category.
Yeah, I was looking at the music, and they don't fall within our what we're looking for.
Right. Alrighty. So let's talk about day 0 day. I'm sorry, 0 day. And that is, again, let me give our synopsis. That's on our what do you call it? Netflix. And that stars Robert De Niro and Angela Bassett. And we've got some other, we're going to bring that up in between the last two, Shantice. We have some other faces we've seen. So let's talk about the synopsis. In the midst of crisis, how can we discover the truth when it seems the world is being destroyed by uncontrollable forces? And to what extent are conspiracy theories our own inventions or products of our imagination? We're talking about this technical catastrophes that are going on. They are trying to find out in these last 3 episodes. They're really sinking their teeth in to find out who is really behind this. Is it someone? Is it Russia? Is it China? Is it Japan? Or is it on our own land? So we've got some, like I said, some familiar faces. Let's talk about highlights for episodes 3, 4, 5, and 6. Ainsley, you got first dibs on this one.
Highlights. To me, it got more interesting as it progressed, and as it started to unfold, like who's really behind it. Is one thing I did like. It was, well, as soon as you think, okay, when you finally got to, well, episode 4, it starts with the financial collapse, everything, with the bank and stuff like that.
Right.
So you kind of figure they got through that. You think, oh, okay, we good. No, the story, you still got more to go through. That has nothing really to do with the whole thing that started this in the first place. And it keeps on going, and it keeps on going. And so the pace, it picked up a little bit. To me, they have is a little dry moments here and there. But it kept going. Highlights though, I don't know, would this be considered a highlight? This episode, I think, is 5. Like when the daughter, when she kept saying, try to get her father, stop him doing what he's doing. At some point, I'm like, maybe it's the other side of the fence. I'm like, if I'm saying I'm doing this, I'm doing this. What are we talking about here? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's one thing you disagree philosophically or whatever case may be. I got my job to do. You do your job, and we good. And like when she called, she happened to be speaking to the chief of staff, and he's making a big mistake. He's only doing this for his own mental thing and whatnot. Right. I mean, like, shut up. He's doing the job. He doing he got to do. And realized to come afterwards that you was with this in the very beginning.
Ain't that something? Ain't that something?
You in this from the very beginning. Now, it's cool. A highlight, I think, was when Roger, I guess he left that note in the book, which really kind of opened things up.
Right.
What was really going on, to what was really behind it and everything like that opened it up. So that, I think, also one particular good highlight into it. But I like how really it ended, because it seemed like everybody is like, okay, well, if you expose, even with the president, it's like, okay, yeah, we got the truth, but do you really want to expose everything because we come out? Or like, well, you had a child, out of wedlock, why he's in, blah, blah, blah. That's going to come out. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the speaker was named Speaker Dryer. Maybe let him just retire. Does the country really need to know all of this? It's like even when you face everything, you have the truth right in front of you, you're still trying to cover up stuff. And I'm so glad with the highlight was at the end. Even his daughter fess up and was like, yeah, listen, I got to take responsibility for my own actions.
Right.
Yeah. This person was involved, that person, that senator, blah, blah, blah. Blow up the whole spot like it needs to be. I was so glad with that. To me, it was taking too long to get to that point, though.
Okay.
Too long. I was like, come on, man. We got to see him go, the whole drive to the Capitol. Let's get to it, man.
Okay. We have to go back when we finish this. We have to go back to Kick It or Click It for the first movie. But let's go forward. Shantice, highlights for 0 Day episode 4, 5, and 6.
I agree. That was one of my main highlights as far as President Mullen putting his daughter on blast. Because what kept being echoed throughout all 6 episodes was the people trust you. The people trust you. And that was the main way he could ensure that the people continued to have trust in him. If you're transparent enough to put your daughter out there, what wouldn't you do that would have you be trustworthy in our eyes? Because you could have put everyone else on blast and tried to hide her and it come out, or do like he was initially going to do and not mention anyone by name so that he could continue to protect her. And I think one of the things that helped him make that decision was the letter she left him.
Yeah.
I think he would have wanted to do it anyway. I think that was just that extra push for him to do it. But yeah, another highlight was what helped to make the story a little more interesting to me was this mistress being asked back by the wife to come work and help the husband. And now you're introducing this 11, 12-year-old daughter who doesn't know anything. And when the wife was at the house and then the daughter came down, I was just like, oh my goodness,
that's a whole lot. That's
right, to swallow at this time. Yes.
Woo. I can see it. If that's side of the fence. I can see how that be on the other side of the fence. Outside of the fence.
It would have been real dark up in that room.
Right. Until I saw that kid, and now it's R&B eyes, like Martin said. Real bad injuries going on around here. Because that, I was on this side of the screen like, what? Like if this is for better or for worse, if this man, listen. But that was definitely another highlight for me. Finding out that the daughter was involved. I was like, all high and mighty stuff. That's why you need to be quiet.
Right.
Right. Meanwhile, you're behind all of this. You helped to get your boyfriend killed. You helped for this, and you still mad at
somebody was gonna die. I didn't know somebody was gonna die. Why is that always the place to go? I didn't know somebody was gonna die. I didn't know somebody was gonna die.
But from the beginning of time, whether it's for the most part, it's always either we are the ones concocting the plan against us, or we're involved in the plan that's set to take us down. So how did you think this was going to go glitch free?
Right.
Because you're involved. Whether you're talking about something scripted or you're talking about something for real. We're either part of the plan or we are the originators of the plan. So how did you think that this wasn't going to happen? Something wasn't going to happen that would be out of your control, especially when you were the one recruited. You weren't the recruiter. How you thought you was having all this control when you were asked to join the team that was already formed? I don't understand. I don't understand people. I don't understand people like that. That made no sense. So that whole part of the storyline was very interesting, and it did help to keep me engaged. I'm gonna be honest. The first 3 episodes, I was like, they losing me.
Yeah, I can see that. You be like,
Yeah.
Okay, come on now.
Yeah, I was so uninterested. It was kind of a job to go through, to watch through. But the last 3 episodes, those highlights really helped to pull it together for me.
Okay. Well, excuse me. I wasn't bored like you three. I actually liked the first 3 episodes. I think the 4, 5, and 6 definitely took it up quite a bit. So that's a highlight for me because now you're really getting into, like you said, Ainsley, episode 4 started with the crash, the financial crash, and everybody standing outside of the bank about to tear it down. So, to me, now we pushing this here. And now they are talking about something that's going to really hit you hard, your finances. And they shut down all of the, the banking, area. So you can't use no credit cards. You can't do this. So now that hits both sides. It hits the merchant and it hits the consumer.
Everybody.
Right. Because now there's no transactions that could go on. And they're thinking about extending it. They're talking about extending it past the weekend. So I thought that was a really interesting way to start the second half, although it wasn't broken up like that. Y'all gonna think I'm real crazy right now, but I'm gonna be honest. One of my highlights was when they put that plastic bag over his head. I'm sorry. It don't sound like a Pastor Steph should be saying this type of thing, but I gotta tell you.
Oh yeah, I like that. I mean, that's cool.
I enjoyed that. One of the reasons why I enjoyed it, Evan Green being suffocated because he was getting on my nerves. Number one, number two.
Yeah, he was on my nerves from the day from the first time he sank him on the screen. Yes,
really getting on my nerves. And number two, they ended up getting something from that. Now, had he been all that innocent, I'd have been mad. But I was good. Unfortunately, I hate to say this, but they had to do what they had to do. You're talking about people dying. You're talking about you're talking about all of this stuff that you got going on. And but wait, what about when he said, well, I kind of cheated on my taxes. Everybody does that. I'm like, only to find out later that you knew the people that were behind this thing. At this point, you need to get what you get. And,
I like the faces when he said that. Everybody was like,
right, like really,
like,
really? You know good well we ain't talking about no tax evasion.
We are not the IRS. We are former president.
Right. That's like the detectives just like the detectives that tell the drug dealers, we don't care nothing about your drugs. We just know who murdered Pookie.
Right.
That's all we really know. And that's the way they looked at him. Like, okay, yeah, right. So that was a highlight for Stephanie. That was a real highlight for me. I ain't gonna lie. I actually thought they were gonna do the prisoner of war thing and pour the water over his head. That's what I thought they was gonna do. When they outright hated him. Yes, when they actually put that plastic bag over his head, I was like, oh, y'all going for broke here.
Well, to piggyback off of you, Pastor Steph, another highlight for me was when Kidder, that was her name, right?
Yeah, the mastermind.
When she was all big bad and we're gonna stream live. Let's go live now. When they were outside of her.
Right.
And then when she tried to get in touch with the rest of the team,
they say nope.
Right.
And you see that confidence just going down and down and down. Yep. And then when her side fired first, and now you got this gunfire. Now there's nothing keeping them on the outside and keeping them on the side of peace because now they're being attacked. So first it was the people, your team. It has now dropped you. So now you really scared. And then now your side then started this gunfire. So now they really coming in for me. I loved that because again, it showed no one is invincible. Everybody can get it, especially if you're relying on other people. Especially if you are relying on other people. They will always do what they need to do to save themselves. But when it comes time to help you, sir, it don't matter that you one of the people that put this together. Or you feel you're so I'm so important to this team because I'm the only one who can do this, or I'm the only one who has this. It don't matter because guess what? Everyone can be replaced or done without. So yes.
Yeah, that was one of my highlights as well when she went down. And now again, all of this high and mighty stuff only reveals that you were behind this whole thing as well. The highlight I shared with the two of you, where he did the right thing at the end of the day. And Dryer kills me. Oh, you so high and mighty. Yo, sit down somewhere. He didn't bring out, some of the other stuff, but now that they have to investigate you, they're going to find out on their own. But my thing is, you guilty. So what do you mean high and mighty? You can't pick up nothing for this particular individual that would shine, put him in some kind of space of being bad. So those were like some of my highlights at the end. I really like that Robert De Niro's character came out on top. They found out that they went to him with a plan already. Something was already wrong. They had already felt like something was simmering in the background, and they used him to kind of bring it all out. So there was more to this than what meets the eye. So I did actually like that part of the storyline where, it wasn't just that at the end that he was a plan, and I really did like that. We've got Cons Ainsley.
Before that, one thing I like was one thing he said that was it seemed kind of true. So they kind of said, "Oh, we're just going to do this for a day. We're going to do this so that we can just do it for only temporarily." And what comment was like, every time somebody in history says it's only for a short period of time, you know what always happens. Total chaos and whatnot. The power just goes to the head and whatnot. And who so you find it's okay to kill 3,000 people, just to meet your agenda. Oh, come on now.
Right. I like.
Now distractions. One thing that got to me. I know it had to happen, I guess, but even when she dies in jail, I mean, for somebody who caused all this problem,
what
had a gun shootout to get this person, got her alive, and she gonna die in prison. I mean, what happened to the protection there? Come on now. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry,
that's all behind the scenes stuff. That's all her people trying to get rid of her.
Yeah, but I'm like, commission. No, that wasn't supposed to go down. But all right, Hollywood. All right, do your thing. All right, that's straight Hollywood. Yeah, and so another distraction is, when they had his wife on the she had to testify and whatnot. And Dry's trying to question her, do you think your husband is he of sound mind? And she was like, basically, yeah. So it was like, even though she was truthful and she held her own and whatnot, to me, there was really nothing to be gained from that.
Okay.
I mean, come on. It was really nothing to be gained from that. It was a good scene. I liked it, but it was like, come on, man, really,
Okay.
What was it? Oh, I didn't. I hate to see the brother who he got shot. When he was outside Kayla's house. He survived.
Yes. Carl.
My man got shot. I'm like, oh man, why the brother gotta go?
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's about all I can think of right now. Yeah.
Okay. Shantice, distractions, cons.
There wasn't anything really distracting, I don't believe, to me. As far as cons, what comes to mind is the scene with President Mullen and the wife in the car when they said, okay, we have to relocate you. So they attempt to drive out. and he's telling them, don't run the people over, only for the people to bombard their way through the gates.
Okay.
Start smashing the car. Get to the point where they then pull the other agent out the passenger seat and trying to get his gun so that they could shoot him. And you still sitting there talking about don't run nobody over. I was so mad. My thing was, once we would have driven up
out of the fence.
Right. Because once we would have driven up to the gate and I would have saw the people, the protesters standing there, my first thing was, go ahead. I wish one of them would keep trying to stand there. Don't reduce no speed, no nothing. Because again, just like the ICE agent, we got in the people's car and the lady kept driving. This was your choice. Right. Okay. So, you know, so once, and they didn't have to go fast, but once you're doing your normal 15, 20 miles per hour, and then once you saw that as you were driving by, they got bats and they hopping on the car and all that, I would have sped off. Whoever gets hit and run over, I hope you had a will or a trust fund. We're not stopping. We're not stopping to see who's okay. I'm not sending no check up on you. No, none of that. As long as my home is protected, I could care less about what happens to anyone who willingly stood out there in front of a moving vehicle that they saw moving from a mile ahead, literally, because when they have where you got to drive up to the house, it's at least a mile. You saw this coming, car stopped for them to get the agents on the outside to open the gates and try to hold the people back. There was more than enough time for you to get out the way.
Okay.
That was so, nobody had the doors locked, so now they able to get in the car. Okay. Yeah, it was, I felt like Ains at that point. It was just like, what world do we live in that we got all the security, but no one thought to lock the doors?
Absolutely.
Real world, that door is locked. I'd be like, stand there if you want. I ain't stopping. If we feel I ain't stopping.
Right.
You open up the gate, I ain't stopping. I'm like, oops. I'm like, boop, boop.
Right.
Right.
Let's play how many people can we run over?
Like, boop, boop.
Yeah. I too have no, I actually have really no cons. You know, honestly, I don't have any distractions. Let's go to nominations. Now that this is done, let's see who falls into the nomination. So we have none of the behind the scenes are ethnic minorities. None. I did the research as we were talking. So you have Angela Bassett. Is she up for any nomination?
Not for me.
Okay.
No, not really.
Okay. We have Carl Otieno, the one who you just got finished talking about. He was the aide who got shot. Is he up for a nomination?
Not for me.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, dokie. I liked him. I actually did like him. I would like to see a nomination for supporting. I think when to me, his presence was I enjoyed his presence. I was actually looking forward to him coming onto the screen.
Okay.
Angela Bassett, I wasn't anticipating her. I don't think she did anything outstanding, but I did like, his name is McKinley Belcher III, Anika, and he played Carl Otieno on Zero Day. Other than that, we don't have anyone that actually falls into our category that was on, who had any level of presence. All right. Ainsley, it's on you. Kick it or click it. Zero Day.
Click it.
Okay. All righty. Shantice, kick it or click it.
Wow, you're thinking too hard.
Click it. The last 3 episodes. Yeah, because the last 3 episodes saved it. Yeah, so I would say click. Soft click.
Okay. Ainsley, I forgot to ask. Stars. How many stars? 1 to 3?
I'll give it 3 stars.
Okay, Shantice.
1.5.
1.5. Okay. I go 3 stars. I say click it. I really enjoyed it from the beginning to the end. You know what makes me? I thought about Oppenheimer when y'all were like all the way on the other side of the fence.
Oh my gosh, that was
You made me want to cancel every streaming service.
yeah, man. Oppenheimer, that was the worst right there. I think that was the worst one we did.
It's zero day. It's 0 day. They hacked into everything.
Demi Moore was the worst one for me. What do we do? Oh, One Battle After Another. Shantice, how many stars?
I'll give it a 2.
Okay, kick
Out
it
of
or
3.
click
Click it.
Okay, all righty. Ainsley, 1 out of 3. How many stars?
2.5. No, I'll give it 3 stars.
Okay. I'm
And
giving
click
it. And click it. Okay, I'm giving 1 star.
What? 1?
I didn't like it. I
You
did
give that 1 and gave Oppenheimer 10?
I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
Wow.
It was long and it was way too empty for me. I really think they wasted a lot of time on stupid stuff. And I like the cast. I thought the cast was done well, so that's why they got the 1 star. I think the cast was done well. I didn't like the storyline. Or I liked the storyline, but I don't think they did any good stuff with it. Let's put it like that. Let's do that. So,
all right.
Shantice, you've got a video, another trivia video before we go into our last review. What you got?
Yes, ma'am.
Of this business.
Yeah.
The show business is like your boyfriend. Are you still gonna love him if he ain't buying you dinner?
Yeah.
Like, if it's not feeding you all the time and you still love it, then you push on, you push through. And that's what I always appreciated Chris Rock for. Everybody hates Chris. The role, somebody else was up for the role. I'm not gonna say who it was, but a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And Chris wanted me, but the network wanted her because she was already kind of established and blah, 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 blah. But remember, I'm coming out of that 10-year lull of being Pam and not working. So I didn't have anything recent that they could say, oh, okay, we saw her do this. I just kind of had Martin. So that's another thing. When you don't work, all you have as a reference is the last job you did or substantial job you did. So that was kind of hurting me too. But Chris was like, I wanted you.
Yeah.
And he stood his ground. So that's the only reason why I got Everybody
Shout out to
Hates
Chris,
Chris.
man. Chris
That's
is
the
dope.
only reason why I got that role.
Yeah, Chris is a dope dude, man.
He's a visionary. He gets it.
Yeah,
He gets it.
Chris! Get in the bathroom and wipe the pee off the toilet seat. Disgusting.
Wow. Okay. Ainsley did the first. You go ahead with what's your thoughts?
I like hearing stuff like that.
No, not you, Ains. Shantice, I'm sorry. Shantice goes first this go round.
I would love to know who the friend is. After hearing
it was Gina.
I was just about to say. I was like, was it Tisha Campbell? Because I think it was season 3 or season 2. Tisha Campbell came on a few episodes and played the role of Peaches, which was Chris's crush, Keisha's mother. So they were able to kind of play together in that as well for a few episodes. So I already saw this clip when we were just watching just now. I was like, I wonder if it was Tisha Campbell, because not that they don't have other friends in the industry, but we know how tight they've been since Little Shop of Horrors.
Right.
Was at 84, 83. So and knowing that she was on there, I don't believe anyone would have been able to play Rochelle.
Oh, child, please.
The way Pam was. Not only that, I found it I'm gonna come back to that real quick. But real quick, I find it very interesting that this had everything to do about Chris Rock's life, but now he has to fight to get. This is why everyone goes indie now. I now have to fight the network as to who I want to play my mother, my real mother, not the mother that I made up when I wrote the script. My mother. I should be able to walk in and say, this is the cast, this is the cast. But this is what happens when you go mainstream. You sign a lot of your rights over to the network. And now they get to pick and choose. There's no way. So, and by this time, Chris Rock was well established by the time Everybody Hates Chris came out.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right, so it's not even like the network could look at him like, well, you probably don't know what you're talking about. He's already established as a comedian and an actor. So, and again, this is my mother. So if I see an actress who she doesn't even have to audition, in my opinion, or I want her to come in and read just to clarify or to correct, I thought that was weird. But I am a huge fan of Everybody Hates Chris. And no one would have been able to play Rochelle the way she did. She personalized that role like no other actress could have. As funny as Regina Hall can be, she did that. She did that.
Okay. All righty. Ainsley.
Yeah. I can at this point you can't see nobody else playing that role but her. You can't see nobody else. That is like a role made just
She owned that
just for her at all. And you know, it's like she almost be typecast because of that. She played it so hard.
Okay.
But I like seeing clips like that. You know, where the person had a pull to make things right. You know, this is what I want. There's another clip. I think somebody was talking about Eddie Murphy in life. You know, even though he's established, he had to fight for and making certain people who he wanted in the movie, and makes things where people were treated right on the set. And you know, so I love it when you hear when you know that quote the headliner. I mean, you know, tries to make things right like it's supposed to be. You can't see it no other way. You see where they want it, what's the right thing to go, you know. So
right.
Stuff like that.
I actually agree with both of you. I think she owned that. I don't think Tisha Campbell or any one of our A-listers could have rocked it the way she would. I can't see Tasha Smith. I can't see Tisha Campbell. Can't see Regina Hall. She owned that role. And, you know, kudos to her. For somebody to fight for her and then she own it and can't nobody think of nobody else who could actually rock that role. So good for her. Good for Chris Rock. I'm happy to see that happen, and it was a success. You know, he didn't fight and then they were like, okay, I really could have used Mary Jones. No, go ahead, just do your thing. Tashina Arnold, you really showed who the winner was in that particular role. All right. Nika says, I love Tashina. Yes. I think that was excellent casting. All right, so we got Mayor of Kingstown, and we are focusing on season 1, episode 3 and 4. And Shantice, you got first dibs on his highlights 3 and 4.
My highlights were mainly in episode 3. I think 4 too, but mainly 3. I think for me 3, because of the whole plight of episode 3 with the
something else.
Oh my gosh, the guy who everyone wanted his head because of how he blew that trailer up with that baby in there. Horrible. And I love the way it was so much going on, but it wasn't chaotic. And only good writing and good directing and good acting could make that possible. You know, where it's like so many different components, but it's like I can still follow and it still makes sense. And I still remember what happened 15 minutes ago. And I still like it was so good. But that whole like I didn't see that coming in the beginning. And they got graphic with it when they showed up, the cops and Mike showed up on the scene and they was like, okay, well, what's that? Put that out. And it was the baby. And we was like, oh my gosh. And it's like, it was inside view, an inside view as to what real cops go through every day when they have to report. And like the coroner said, because it was like, well, we could do this. He was like, but the kids are always the hardest. So it's like, no matter, even with you being a coroner, that's your career. And with you being a cop, that's your career and all of that. No one can handle seeing the babies just injured, abused, dead, killed, murdered like that. That is just like so like, oh my gosh. So I think they did a really, 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 really good job with that. I don't know, it feels like after that episode 4, it was mainly focusing on, the mom trying to really get Mike to convince the younger brother Cal to pretty much get out of harm's way by taking the state trooper job. And him acting like a huge baby. Like, it's like, all right, I could understand if you are really torn between which one you want to do. But there's just a lot of whining going on. So most of my highlights was just like episode 3 overall was just a highlight for me. It was, and even though he was cooking meth and that's how he accidentally blew the trail up, you blew up the mama and the baby and killed him and all that, I was almost in tears when the way they killed him at the end. I was just like, oh my gosh.
I was actually in tears.
I was literally like, oh my gosh, as if he was completely innocent and someone just decided to just pick on him for no reason. I was just like, this was so strategically, like this was planned to do him like this. Oh my God. It was just like, God, you really doing something to my heart. Because with him, and I guess too, like the scenes leading up to that, when he was pretty much begging and pleading for help, and he was just like, I'm so sorry, it wasn't intentional, but it was just like, this is what we really do to people. We really plan to take people out like this. Like, so all of episode 3 for me was highlighted.
Okay. Ainsley.
Yeah, to me, episode 3, well, first of all, when it first started, right, and they showing the scenes, everybody exercise, and you see the little boy with his weight, and you see everybody, the corrections officer, everybody working out, the prisoners, they working out, and at the time I was eating something I shouldn't be eating, and it made me think, oh yeah, I got to lose 10 pounds before I go see my doctor next month. So I realized, I need to exercise myself. But it made me think.
The inmates are giving you inspiration.
Yeah, I thought, I need to exercise. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, and it was really heartbreaking to see, the house, blow up, and when it seen the body come out burnt up, and unfortunately I seen something like that. It was a house fire and somebody was burnt up, and it's just that few seconds before they get the white towel to cover it up, and you're looking at, you just can't believe what you're looking at. And so, and that's why I could see the emotion. Everybody was like, oh my God. And then it's a little boy, a kid, if you will.
Right.
So, and it's like, at that point, everybody wants this person dead. It's not like if he's going to die. It's like, how is he going to do it? Is he going to, how we going to shoot him when he first apprehended? He can't make it to court. Is he going to be in holding when he gets to the jail and whatnot? How are we going to do it? It's like everybody wants your death. And to me, that is that Mike, the good point is that everybody wants this thing done, but nobody's looking at the cost of
the long term, right?
Everybody wants to want right now, but nobody's thinking about the long term cost. which is episode number 4, and so it's and we actually it turns out to be a bigger issue.
Right.
Nobody looking at the long term. One of the thing I think if this is a reoccurring thing, we all get a nice little history lesson from the mother. It seems like every episode she says, she gives a little brief history lesson on something.
Right.
Happen all the time. We get a little history lesson.
Right.
So it's all cool.
No. I thought you were about to say I can't look at her and not think of the Lost Boys. Like it's so hard to watch her, even with her being older and a little heavier. So every time I look at her, I just see Lost Boys. That's all I'm reminded of.
And and then they trying to, her mother try to convince him that, Mike convinced his brother to go for the other job, and they're talking about he only making $45,000. I'm like, y'all ain't making no money, man.
What else is there to contemplate about? You're poor.
Yeah, and the baby, I'm like.
Right. Like you ain't got nothing. That's like you volunteering and someone saying, all right, I know you're getting an allowance, but here's an income. And you talk about, what do I do? What?
Yeah, I'm like,
you don't go and get that job.
Right. Oh my goodness.
So fast. I'm like,
But he mentions that, it's a hard place to leave. He does go into that, as much as the opportunity presents itself, it's hard for him to leave. So it's really, a tug of war.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, it's used to when you're used to your surroundings and stuff like that, man. But man, grow some.
I don't know if I'm that connected to my surroundings to not be making no money. I never loved 233rd Street so much to where I'm gonna sacrifice being able to pay a bill, because I don't love it that much to actually live on 233rd. Like it's one thing to live in a house on 233rd. It's another thing to live on 233rd because you can't afford to pay no rent. So you love it so much you actually live on the literal street. No, that just doesn't make any. And like you said, Ainsley, and you have a wife and a child on the way.
If
nothing else is an incentive for you, you have a family.
All right, bye.
Right, you have a family.
Right. Show over.
But another quick highlight. Yes, in the beginning of episode 4, he was making liquor. Where there's a mean, there's a way.
No, that's not
the
him.
Inmate.
He was making meth.
No.
Oh no!
He was drinking
coffee. Like coffee.
That was coffee. Oh, I thought that was liquor. Okay, well, even with that, that was some that man's a Shakespeare. Okay, because did you see the steps that had to be taken?
Yeah, and he had with a fingernail file.
With the fingernail clip. Yeah. Yes, and I'm like, well, listen, you gotta do what you gotta do. You ain't got no hot plates. I mean, whatever you gotta do,
make do what you got.
Whatever you gotta do to make it happen. I'm like, ooh, child.
Someone like Milo, who has money, who's got pull, still have to go through those things is quite a bit. That's quite a bit. That was what I thought of.
That's how
even Milo is slumming in jail, So,
wait, so that was Milo whose wife got killed?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that was Milo.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know.
And he's got all of this money. Remember, he had the money. Yes, that's Milo. So for me to see Milo, I was like, oh, they got Milo slumming in jail. Oh well, I guess he's
But that's how Kyle is gonna have. That's how Kyle gonna have to make his coffee if he stick with that job that's giving him $42,000 a year.
Yeah, exactly.
45. 45.
I'm sorry.
All right.
45.
Y'all have mixed the highlights with the cons.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wanna push this forward because we started a little later. So we've got FYI, we've got writers who are not in our category, but we do have directors. So again, we have Clark Johnson. Anybody that knows Homicide, Life on the Streets knows Clark Johnson. Tasha Smith, yes, our Tasha Smith. She has directed a couple of episodes in season 2. We've got another Nina Lopez Corrado who has directed. We see some familiar faces such as Jeremy Renner, who stars in Marvel as like the Archer. We see we'll talk about the familiar faces first. We see Michael Beach, who plays Kareem, who's the captain over there. And that's pretty much the familiar faces that we see in this particular season so far. We've got some other heavy hitters that are coming up. Some newcomers that fall into our, not that we're going to, bring them up tonight because we need to see how they all play out. But we've got Bunny, the one who plays Bunny, Toby Bam Tifa. We've got the one who plays Stevie, the detective, Derek Webster. We've got one who plays Rebecca, Nicole Galicia. She's the one who plays his
secretary.
Assistant. Yes, the assistant. Right. We've got I got a little piece of trivia here for you. So you know the cop that stays in trouble, the kid that stays in trouble?
Yes.
The young kid. They keep shifting around, right? Because he's somebody's nephew. He is actually Mario Van Peebles' son.
What?
Yes. Yes, he's actually his son. And just doing a little research, his name is Mandela Van Peebles. And of course, that means that he would be the grandson of Melvin Van Peebles. Right. So, they gave him a little cameo spot in here. And so we'll see how, his role plays out and how he does. But, we do have some possible nominations coming up, when we get to and through season 4, because season 4 actually aired in 2025. So that's what we'll be, kind of voting on all the way up to that. So we got some stuff to look forward to.
Wow. Okay.
So thank you so much for, our episode of My 2 Cents. So we're going to definitely continue the journey of Mayor of Kingstown. We have finished our 0 day. So we will discuss what we're going to review, and I'll throw it out there and let you know what we'll be reviewing coming up. So, it's been real. This was a good episode that, it gave us, some stuff to really talk about. And we're going to be having some special guests. I've spoken to a couple of people who will be joining us periodically to do some reviews and, like that. So Shantice, you keep those little trivia videos coming. And look forward to some great things. Ainsley, tomorrow on His Due Time, God spares?
Yes. God willing, I'll be there. I'll be on.
Okay. All righty. So please check us out tomorrow. The man, it is Freestyle Friday. The day we get to do whatever we want to do. Well, talk to our men is what we do on Fridays. And it is our celebrity day. So I don't know what I'm going to stumble across to bring as news, but I'm hoping that you will be joining us in the morning. So I am your girl, Pastor Steph.
Shantice.
That Brooklyn guy, Ainsley Harris.
All righty. And we will check you in the morning, God spares. Thank you, Anika. Thank you for everybody who has joined us today.
Thank you, Nick.
And, jumped in on that conversation. We pray you have a blessed night. Good night.